perfect.
I think it just put a lot of energy into it. It was that energy that was needed, and that's what came through, so that's nice. And we started off with Gypsy, which was a big bang.
Well, it's a wonderful documentary, and it's not only the show, it gives you a lot of behind-the-scenes footage of the festival, and the three of you cooperated along with Mike in providing Murray with some interviews for it. And you, Justin, had said that you felt the concert actually signaled a change from innocence to the music business, if you will. You know, there was just everything, there was a big sea change with this festival, not only in attendance and records, but everything else. The time of innocence was gone.
Yeah, because I think it did turn into a business. Before that, every concert we'd done, there'd be 4 or 5, 6 acts on the bill, and it wasn't really about the groups playing venues. It was just groups not getting paid very much, going out and promoting their records and having a lot of artists on the same bill. And I think after that, it turned into, that was the beginning of sort of stadium rock, and people could see that you could get 700,000 people there, and somebody actually got the money, you know, all the 500,000 of those people were paying a lot of money to see that, and that's why they were a little upset when the fence came down and the rest of them came in.
Yeah.
But it did turn into a business after 1970.
It was people outside of the music industry that spotted the potential and moved in and changed the face of it all.
Yeah, yeah. It was different business after that.
Yeah.
And Rem, you do make it a point when John talks about during the performances about the Isle of Wight, and he mentions Jimi Hendrix, and you're a friend of his. Did you get to see him perform that night? And
I saw him perform many times. And I was one of many people that were friends of his. I wasn't particularly closer than anyone else. But my one favourite memory of him, actually, do you mind if I stretch the story out a little? My son at this particular time was probably, he was living with me, so he was at uni, so it was 18, 19, and he was a huge Lenny Kravitz fan. And he'd read this article from Lenny Kravitz in which he mentioned that he was a fan of a guy called Jimi Hendrix, which my son had never heard of. So my son goes out, buys the album, which turned out to be Electric Ladyland, plays it. I come home from wherever I was doing. Now bear in mind, my son has seen me at the Albert Hall, he's seen me at venues all over the world, he's seen me at Madison Square Gardens. Poof, I'm Dad, that's it. He comes running down the stairs and says, Dad, you've got to hear this album, and it's Jimi Hendrix, Electric Ladyland. And I said, son, do you know I was the first person not in the studio ever to hear that? Because I was living just round the corner from where he made it. He knocked me up about 4 in the morning to play me the reel-to-reel tape of Electric Ladyland, which I was very grateful for. I thought it was wonderful. But I said to my son, I was the first person outside the studio ever to hear that. And he looked at me and he said, you knew Jimi Hendrix? First time I ever impressed him. And the last time, I think.
what's it like backstage at these festivals? Everybody, we all assume it's a big party in more ways than one. Is it that way, or is it just so hectic that you literally come in, do your set, and out you go? I know that's how it is today, but was it that way back then as well?
No, because we had to wait around all day. So we saw a lot of other acts go on. Chris Christopherson started the whole thing, and on that Sunday, and he hadn't even been on by the time we got there. It was so late, because it'd gone so late the night before. So there was John Sebastian. There was that, whatever the lady Applebee's or whatever, doing the catering backstage. And there were a lot of people that stayed over from the Saturday. I met John Sebastian there, who was must have been on the Saturday. He wasn't. I didn't see him play, but I have to say that this, because he wasn't. I'll tell you a funny story about that. It's crazy. This is The Simpsons. My daughter was at UCLA when that came out, and some months after we'd done it, and I said to her, what do I look like on it? Because she saw it on the TV, and she said, yellow. It's all primary colours. It's great, isn't it? You can't plug that. You can't plug your way onto The Simpsons. It's not something a publicity agent can buy you. As you know, they have to. Matt Groening has to ask you.
The funny thing about it, we were on for, 45 seconds? If, you know, it was maybe, it was a very short spot anyway. And the number of people that came to me that wanted to say they'd seen us on the show but didn't want to admit they spotted the show, but so they said, and I was just flicking through the channels and there you were. And I thought, a lot of lucky people just dropping on that 2 minute slot.
I asked Matt, because when we did the sessions, for some reason we did them in Canada, and he was on an ISDN line or something in LA, and telling us what to do, and very strict with the script, and wouldn't tell us what the story was. But I did speak to him in the control room afterwards, and I said, what's it got to do with, you know, why us? And he said that this is the creator of Matt Groening, isn't it?
Matt Groening, yes.
Matt Groening. And he said that they'd realised that Homer was a better lead character after a while than Bart. And they sat around one day in the office, decided that Homer was a Moody Blues guy. And a few months later they called us.
Yeah, Homer.
That was part of Homer's character.
Yeah, he loved Grand Funk Railroad and Aerosmith. Yeah, but they've all been on. And Ringo's been on, a whole bunch of you guys. Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. All right, so I'm going to start to move towards these instruments, not me physically, but putting together a set list. So Isle of Wight, you did 3 albums in 15 months prior to this. I mean, this is unheard of by today's standards. Nobody can even do a single in 15 months, let alone 3 albums. You kind of get wind, at least that there's a minimum of 200,000 people at this festival, so you know it's going to be big. But you also know that it's not solely your audience. So how do you craft a set list to win over those who are not fans and to satisfy your fans who are there?
It wasn't like that, so we just did our own. We just did our set.